Hi, I'm Andrea, and welcome to Social Coconuts' Languages Unboxed, the podcast that takes you on an expedition through the fascinating world of education and language learning. On today's episode, you'll hear 8 different strategies, techniques, and mindset that are required for language learning. Now, you might be wondering, how exactly will I learn how to do this? Well, I'll tell you how to learn a language successfully in 8 different steps. Learning a new language is a journey that opens up a world of possibilities. Now, whether you want to enhance your career prospects, connect with new cultures, or simply challenge yourself, language learning is a worthwhile endeavor. So, where do we begin? Let's go to the first step. Set your goals. Defining clear and achievable goals is crucial in language learning. So take a moment to reflect on why you want to learn a specific language and what you hope to achieve. Are you preparing for a trip? Do you want to communicate with family members or colleagues? Once you have a clear goal in mind, it will become your guiding star throughout the whole learning process. So now that we finished with this step, let's go to step number 2. Choose your resources wisely. The internet is a treasure trove of language learning materials, but it is also overwhelmingly full of information. So it's important to find reliable sources. So for English learners, you can start with some well-known language learning platforms and apps to practice on your own, such as Duolingo, which most of you already probably know, and online platforms that you can use on your tablet and laptop when you're at a much more comfortable space at home, for example, such as Babbel and Memrise. These are for all levels, so you can select the level that you're at. You also have the old-fashioned way of learning with textbooks and other self-study materials. And some of the good editions are from Cambridge, Pearson, and Oxford. I really recommend those 3. So consider incorporating a mix of listening, speaking, reading, and writing exercises to develop a well-rounded skill set. And try out different things and stick with the learning methods that you like the most and that work for you and your schedule. So always do what works best for you. Step number 3, consistency is key. Now, when I say consistency is key, is because learning a language requires regular practice. So set aside dedicated time each day or week to engage with your target language. Even if it's just 10 to 15 minutes a day, consistency will get you better results than sporadic study sessions. And you really have to put some effort and work in it if you really wish to see some results. You can't gain muscle in a day or 2 when you go to the gym, right? Well, it's exactly the same with learning a language. You can compare it to the latter. Remember, slow and steady wins the race. Let's move on to the 4th step. You have to immerse yourself. Language learning is not confined to textbooks, so surround yourself with the language as much as possible. You have to watch some Netflix. There are tons of movies and series. You can listen to podcasts. You can find native speakers to practice with. And mind you, with native speakers, I mean, it can be anyone who masters the language you're learning at and at an advanced level. And you'll also have to embrace the cultural experiences that come with learning that language to enhance your skills and your understanding. Let's move on to step 5. Embrace your mistakes. Now, this step is very crucial because learning a language involves making errors. So don't be afraid to stumble and embrace the process. Mistakes are stepping stones to this progress, so do not be afraid of making them. Remember, even native speakers make mistakes. Even I make mistakes in my native language, which is Spanish. So it's time to put your mistake-making fears aside. Cultivate a growth mindset that views challenges as opportunities for improvement. It's as simple as that. Now, let's move on to the 6th step. Find a language learning community. Learning a language doesn't have to be a solitary attempt. check out the language exchange groups in your town or online forums. You can even go to local conversation clubs. Just Google that online in the city where you are currently, where you can practice and connect with other fellow language enthusiasts. So sharing experiences and supporting each other can make the journey more enjoyable and also very rewarding. Now let's move on to the next step, which is number 7. You have to stay motivated when you are learning a language. I know that it's a marathon. Language learning is not a sprint. So to keep your motivations high, celebrate them with milestones along the way, reward yourself for the progress, and very important, you have to track your goal, track your progress. Additionally, explore your personal interest in that target language. Use music, literature, or even cuisine to keep the learning experience engaging and enjoyable. So remember, it doesn't all have to be learning with books. Now, let's go to the last but not least, step number 8. So step number 8 is never give up, because language learning can be quite challenging at times. But remember, perseverance is key. You have to stay committed to your goals, and you have to adapt your strategies if needed, and you have to keep pushing forward. So do whatever works for you and schedule in the time whenever it works best for you. But always important, just as Nelson Mandela used to say, a winner is a dreamer who never gives up. Now that we are near the end of our podcast journey, remember that language learning is not just about acquiring new words and grammar rules. It's about connecting with people and understanding diverse cultures, but also it's about expanding our worldview. So let's recap our 8 steps for successful language learning. Step number 1, set clear goals. Number 2, choose reliable resources. Number 3, practice consistently. 4, immerse yourself in the language. 5, embrace mistakes and challenges. 6, join a language learning community. 7, stay motivated and celebrate your milestones. And number 8, never give up. And with that, we can conclude today's episode of Languages Unboxed. And remember, language learning is an adventure that will reward you with new perspectives and opportunities. Thank you for joining me on this educational voyage. If you enjoyed today's episode, please share it with your fellow language learners, and remember to subscribe to my podcast for more exciting language learning tips and inspiration. So join me next time as we unbox another fascinating language topic. See you in the next one. Bye!